We are back. We are ready to bring you some value today. Jason and I are here to talk about the hot topic, buyer agency. How's it going, my man?
Living the dream, brother. Living the dream, man. Super pumped to get after it this week. Got some new structure with the calendar going on. We got new time frame for the podcast every week. Sometimes life just kind of organizes itself, right? It's all good.
That's it. I'm feeling it too, man. I'm feeling it too. We had a great mastermind last night. For those of you who haven't joined, make sure you go to sharknationlive.com. You can join our Facebook group. We post the monthly mastermind that we do. It's open to any and all. So, if you're liking what we're doing on this podcast and want to dive in and mastermind with us, we are live the first Sunday of every month where, Google Meet, you can join up and we can workshop with you. So we're open books. We'd love to help. So diving in, the buyer agency changes. So I am gonna say, well, let's start here. So, where are you at with it, Jason? Have you how much has it impacted your day to day so far?
I'm scared. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit back and let life happen to me. And I'm going to be a victim of this whole change.
Well, you're fired from the show because you're not a shark.
No, man, we've been getting after it for weeks. I mean, in Pennsylvania, I know you have your team up in the Pittsburgh area. Our documents didn't go live until the first, right? So, it was kind of what do we got? I have some new things for Team Tuesday tomorrow about some of the minor little tweaks and changes, but for the most part, you know we've been ready for this. We have our buyer advantage program that's going to be launching this week, and all kinds of different flavors that just to set the team up for success. We're not going to be a victim to the market or circumstances or things out of our control. We're going to take it by the horns and freaking go after it.
Right, right. How has your conversations been with your buyers? Have you had a lot of them? First off, has it been a common topic with them?
Not a super big, here's where I would say, the conversation should start. We're not going to be able to just go see houses anymore. You can't just go out and show you a house just when you feel like it. That's for any buyer. Anytime any buyer wants to go take a look at any house, they're going to have some kind of representation agreement, right? So, my message to the team is, there's a non-exclusive agreement and an exclusive one. What's that mean, right? The non-exclusive agreement is, think of it like this: we're dating, right? You want to just go see 123 Main Street. I'll show you 123 Main Street. If you like the value that I'm giving, you got like my vibe, and you want to date again, I could keep dating you. And then you have your exclusive agreement. What does that mean? That means I'm going to kind of think of it like dating. Now we're getting married. Like, I'm going to be in it with you for the fruition to death do us part, right? So that's kind of our talk track with the team. Obviously, we want to show up enough value for our clients. Where why wouldn't they marry us, right? We're going to provide so much stuff for our clientele that it should be a no-brainer.
Yeah. So, and I think this is really, I think I'm just getting straight to it. Is I worked a lot with a lot of Zillow leads, for years, or buying leads, so to speak, and we all wanted bottom of funnel leads. From an agent perspective, if you're somebody out there just chasing that lead that's just ready to go this week, it's kind of that's what's not worked well in the past year, and then this is only going to put gasoline on that fire. In my opinion, database, top of funnel leads, those are going to be a lot better in this environment for you because you're going to have time to show them who you are or what value you bring, through your email marketing, through your contact. Like, people don't believe what you say, they believe what you do. So that's going to be a great opportunity if you're working with people longer term to show them who you are, so that when it comes time for them to consider, they know, well, wow, Chad's been emailing me for the last 6 months. I like what he said in that one video. I like that email he sent me. He followed up and gave me that one link to some stuff and taught me some things. They associate you with the value. It will be so much easier to have that conversation than if you got a lead that's like, I want to see this house today. well, you got to sign this thing, which it's still doable. You can still work that way. But I just think like if I'm talking to agents right now, I would encourage you to focus on lead nurture and kind of indoctrination into your process. Not that you're trying to make them do something they should not, or sell them when it's just it's a great opportunity for you to go deep with people over a longer period of time rather than trying this like I opened the door so I get the commission route. That's not the best move. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the days of the Vanna White is over. You know, just like here's the kitchen and here's the bathroom. It's like no shit. You know, you're gonna have to show your value as a buyer agent. You know, they want to see what they're going to be paying for, right? And so that kind of comes up with the next kind of subject that we should dive into, like concessions, right? The magic word, right? Seller concessions. So the whole gist of the NAR lawsuit was basically that the sellers didn't realize that they were paying the buyer's broker a commission for the transaction. So what happens after that? So the first thing is there's going to be no mention of commissions on the MLS, right? There might be a cooperating broker agreement from, say, our broker to whoever finds the buyer. If you're representing the listing agent, you could still offer some kind of compensation, or they could offer concessions.
But it's coming direct from the seller, at least in the EXP. So I want to like resume, but I want to point that out because okay, if you've been following or if you're in real estate or you look at EXP, oh, we don't offer buyer agent commissions anymore. Okay, let me make a big clarification. EXP is, I don't agree with a lot of this lawsuit stuff, but that's I could sit all day with that because I think it lacks transparency, and that's my problem. But one place where it has transparency, and I just agree is a good decision, is that EXP has said, we're not sharing commissions. We're not going, okay, we're getting this percentage and we're sharing half of it with the other broker. We're saying this is our fee. You can pay the buyer agent directly. Seller can pay the buyer agent directly. Not EXP or listing company can't pay the buyer agent directly. Buyer broker, sorry, not agent. The seller can, or the seller can offer a concession to the buyer. That they're so smart to say that because that's us. Like the problem is us sharing commissions and fixing the rates. That is a way to foolproof from it. So EXP not offering to share commissions is what that means. It doesn't mean that the seller can't compensate the buyer in concession or pay the buyer's broker directly. It just means that EXP is not paying their portion. Which to finalize that point and then come back to you, because I think this is a really, really big deal and needs a lot of clarification. If you think about it from a buyer agent perspective, if you're an agent listening to this, think of the sorry, I don't know. That's how I'm think of the worst agent you could think of. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying, think of just you listening to the show.
Tony there? No, just kidding.
Just imagine it. All right, imagine. So I'm sure if you're an agent listening to this, you think highly of yourself. So now think of the worst agent you can think of. And now think of them at the listing appointment negotiating your commission, because that's what was happening. And now you, as a buyer agent, will be negotiating your own commission with the offer. Like, I'm much more excited for that because I can't wait to use my own negotiation skills. Over 1,000 transactions over the last 10 years. In this arena, as opposed to before where some other agent was at the seller appointment generally negotiating my commission that we generally accepted. You know what I'm saying? So sorry for that big detour, Jason, but I wanted to make sure that people understand, like, it needs to come from, at least on EXP's stance, and I think they're super ahead of the game with this, is that it needs to come from the seller as a concession or to the buyer broker, not from the listing broker to the buyer broker, because that's conspiring. So anyway, sorry. Took it there.
Wow, you really went into the weeds, which is good, right? We want clarification because there is some misleading information out there. We're never going to do this. You can't do that. Everybody leave to EXP, shiny object, shiny object, shiny object. It's like, no, they're clarifying, right? Like clarity is kindness. They want to make sure they're ahead of the game. So then what? This doesn't happen again, right?
Well, what they're doing. When I first heard it, I was like, "What the hell, too?" So that's what I mean. Like, I'm at EXP. When I first heard it, I'm like, "Are you serious? They're gonna do that?" But then when you read the freaking details, you see what it actually is. So anyway, go ahead.
What you mean? You actually have to read your docs and the emails that come in. You just can't take the internet's word for stuff. That's so weird.
You have to show up for meetings? What do you
You have to
mean?
show up for meetings and actually listen to what they're trying to explain to you on one of the biggest changes in the last X amount of years, for sure. But that's why you should have a team leader or broker. You know, one of the things, I'm kind of thinking of is like, where's the voice coming from, like the small mom and pop brokers on stuff like this? Like, we have legal and department after department for compliance all kind of guiding us throughout this whole process. If you're with like a small mom and pop broker and they're saying like, you know, if you were on the PAR hotline stuff and all that kind of thing, it's kind of like, we'll figure it out, brokers. And what message to the agent are they getting, and how is that going to be perceived in the weeds?
So that's another really good point because, one other thing I would almost like get if you're an agent, get aware of what's going on. Be compliant 100%, but don't obsess over training because I think that this is going to be fluid. I think this is going to be I would say for 6 to 18 months this is going to be a little bit we're settling into a new process. So I don't think what's happening now or in a month from now or in 3 months from now will be the same potentially even a year from now. I think it will have a lot of shifts. So know what you need to be compliant, but then come back and keep the relationship with the consumer. Like you can have all this talk about the changes, but at the end of the day, you need to have the relationship with the consumer, help them solve their problem, make sure they're aware of what the fees would, be if the seller doesn't pay you as a buyer's agent. 100% have your consult, show your value, give them off-market properties, hunt for them, send mailers out, show them how you navigate the MLS, lean on your past experiences of yourself or your team or your brokerage to articulate that value, but keep the relationship with the human being on the other side and you're going to win. Like you're going to
Yep.
win. That's the game.
No, for sure. How many agents do you think are using this fear of the unknown and uncertainty of it to, get out of the business? I heard some staggering stats where it's like, maybe like hundreds and thousands of agents are going to leave the business because of this minor change and not be able to go with the flow and learn what they need to know and navigate it. I see it as opportunity, man. I'm pumped up for it. It's going to kind of, for lack of better words, get rid of some of the agents that might not have been the best or ready for this. It's going to, people that are still going to be here after the word should be the cream of the crop, right?
1000%. I mean, obviously on the hustle mindset, that's a really, really big deal. I like that, each time it gets harder, I know somebody will have a harder time following me type thing. So, and 100%, I agree with that. But aside from it, it just comes back down to the fact that real estate got pretty easy. My phone is going off and I turned it on Do Not Disturb.
Vibrating on the screen here. I thought I'm getting old. Seizure.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, I'm using my phone as a camera, so that's why. But there we go. All right. So anyway, what I was trying to get at was I think that a lot are going to leave 100% because it's just that general fear of change that it's comfort and nobody wants to do what's uncomfortable. But that's what's great about this change is it's gonna leave the ones who because even agents that have been successful, and have proven themselves get complacent and they get hard to deal with from agents. If you're out there hustling and selling real estate and you've got to deal with an agent, that won't answer the phone, that thinks they're the best thing in the world, this will help you get them out of your way. I hate to say it, but they're deal killers. Like they slow the process down. They make it frustrating. I mean, I had a deal once where it was my best man at my wedding, his grandmother. Okay. And the agent, it was just, I don't even remember because it's like 7 years ago. We couldn't get her to answer her phone to figure out if our offer was accepted or something like that. I don't remember the exact details. It went like 3 or 4 days back and forth. I had to call the manager of the local office just to get a hold of her, just to get things moving forward. So we we need a little bit of a purge of the people who are too complacent. All right, if you're not and if you have been, and this is waking you up and you realize you need to get back into it, yes, awesome. But those that are just sitting around, we need a little bit of a purge. I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah. Do you think that the agents with the name tag on there are still gonna make it?
There's nothing wrong with the name tag. That's hey, at least they're
I'm
at least,
kidding. I'm kidding. But no. So let's say this. Let's provide some value for the peeps out there. We have some NAR, for lack of better words, objection handlers. So if you're struggling to kind of see what to say and how to say it, put a message in the chat that just says NAR or something like that, and we'll reach out to you with some common objection handlers that buyers might have in this market. So try to help you out with that. I know we have some time constraints today. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you're structuring your team up for success in this changing market?
sure. Um, Yeah, as of right now, I mean, we're revamping our kind of buyer program a little bit, just clearly articulating it a little bit more because we were a little bit I don't like friction. Like that's the thing is like I don't like to cause too much friction with the process. So I wouldn't say we just opened the door and sold a property, but um we have to go through some of the stuff before we go out, not just because of the contract stuff, but just to make them aware of the normalities of the fact that yes, most of the houses we've shown are offering some form of a concession that should cover our fee. But in 3 to 6 months, if that would change, we need you to know, and this is what it would look like. So we just want them to know, like current date, what's going on with what we see at a big level, right? So we're revamping a bit of the VIP program. What we're doing in terms of a team, though, is just we are heavily focusing on conversation. I mean, for us, it's not so much about building these pretty slide decks and doing that stuff. For us, it's about making sure we're talking to people and
Yeah.
educating them on it. So for us, it's about the mouth
Yep.
right now.
Well, totally agree. I'd say for the last couple of minutes here, let's kind of role play it out, right? So I'm a buyer. I'm calling into Chad. Chad, I want to go see 123 Main Street. I'm looking at it on Zillow. When can we go see it?
Awesome, awesome, really good. So I'm just curious, what made you interested in that area?
I work close to there. Commute's far right now, maybe about 30 miles away. Just trying to get that down so I'm not always on the road, get home quicker.
Right, right. Do you have any good podcasts you listen to on the way?
This SharkNation one's freaking money.
You're buttering me up. Well, that's really good. That's really good. I like that. Cool, cool. So, all right, yeah. I mean, I'm happy to kind of work through this with you. There's a few things we'll have to go over, but I just want to get a little bit more clarity on what you're looking for before we, move forward. So, you're looking to reduce the drive time. What did you like about this house specifically? Was there a feature that you liked?
Yeah, getting a little bit older. I like the first floor master suite on there. I don't want anything with steps.
Gotcha. Awesome, awesome. And so what what do you think about budget wise on this one? Is this something that you're comfortable with? Is this at the top? I'm not here to push you to the top of your budget, but I'm here to make sure that I'm getting, I'm stretching it as far as I can. So, what do you feel about this one in the range of your budget?
I mean, it's a little high, but we could probably make it work.
A little high. Gotcha. Gotcha. Is there a monthly payment you're trying to stay under, or where are you at, there?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the purchase price. I'm not really sure, how to kind of calculate the payment on that. I was going to call my banker, kind of see where we're at with it.
We have to pause this real quick because see that's one of the things that people need to watch and need to realize is when you ask questions just diving deeper, a lot of times the things you need to know will just come out, which is, are you pre-approved? You didn't even have to ask it in this case. Kind of. All right. So okay, let me now come back in. So okay, cool. So have you talked with the lender yet? Where are you at in that process?
No, I haven't talked to anybody in 20 years. I've been
Awesome.
in this
Yeah.
house that I'm in 20 years, and I haven't had to call a banker in that time.
Awesome. Okay, no problem. I have a few that are local lenders that I'd love to refer your way, to see if it's a good fit for you. We can chat about that. But one thing I want to make sure before we go any further: have you talked with any other agents yet? I definitely don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Nope, nope. Just clicking around on Zillow, and your name popped up, and you're the first person I'm talking to.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy I'm there. I mean, I spend enough money out in the world, so thankfully the marketing's starting to work, right? But here, let's do this. Would you be open to meeting for coffee about 15-20 minutes beforehand so we can go over some of the new changes in the buyer agency process before we see the house?
What do you mean changes? I just want to see the house. I don't want to I don't have to buy it, right? If I just want to take a look at it.
Right. No, yeah, no, not at all. So we used to just be able to open a door, no forms were required, but there's some new laws and regulations now that you have to sign a form before you go in. Now, I'm not saying there's not agents that are out there that might break the rules or whatnot if you're a little confused by that, but as of August 17th, this is what's going down. So what I have is I can go over with you just a one-time form for this property, but I'll also show you what we offer if you choose to work with our VIP buyer program too. So just about 15 minutes, just to make sure that we're dotting all the I's and crossing the T's before we go in.
Yeah, yeah. Could we just do it out in front of the house, or do I have to meet you somewhere at your office, or?
Yeah, no. So we could sorry. Uh, we have to meet for coffee beforehand. I buy you a cup of coffee. We can get it done. But if that's not convenient, one other option I can do is I can just shoot this one-time form over to you before we go see the property. I can send it for digital signature. If you've got an email address, that's good. And then we could maybe talk about our VIP buyer program after if you'd be open to it.
I am not signing anything. I don't even know you. I don't want to sign. I don't want to sign anything.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I hear that. Unfortunately, in this world, we've got to have it signed before I can show you. And again, this one's non-specific. It's just this one property. You're not tied to me as an agent. I just have to, because here's the deal. You used to be able to see properties and we were offered a commission from the seller. Now we may or may not be, and we need to, disclose any fees that might be in your way. So it's all about transparency, and that's one of my core values. So I want to make sure that you see what that could be. So I'm going to say, if you want to see this house with me, I'm going to have to send that form over. If you're not open to signing at all, it's no big deal. I can send you over some properties that are similar in the meantime, and we can see, if we can add some value to your home search.
Yep, I like it. So, a couple things on that were, I've
And you
been
were hard on me, which is good. So thank you.
I was hard on you because we're live.
Well, I like that. I'm saying, yeah, good.
Yeah.
Don't give me some easy thing.
No, and that's the whole point of it. One thing I would say would be, hey, look at Chad. Totally get it. I wouldn't want to sign something that I have no clue with. That's why I want to meet up ahead of time, so I can kind of explain to you, make sure you're 100% comfortable before we go see the house. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to sign anything that you're not comfortable with. But like I said, new regulations are that anytime you see a house with me or any other agent, you're going to have this form signed, right? So I just want to explain what this form is and kind of, make sure you're comfortable with it before we sign.
Here's one thing I want to point out to anybody listening, definitely not well versed in that yet. 100%. This is a new talk track for us all. But here's the thing. You don't need to be perfect at it day one, and nobody else is. You're at the same playing ground as any other agent. So go out there and have more of those conversations so you get comfortable with it, and then you'll find your process. Like one of the things I always go back to when I started real estate was, the first 2 months, I just had a ton of conversations, and then all of a sudden you started to see patterns. You started to see patterns of what worked and what didn't. And then I built a set of 5 or 6 questions. And it's not all about just cheesy sales tactics of oh, this is what converts people. It's about this is what cuts the BS in the conversation so I can get them what they need out of this process. Because here's the thing, I don't know about you, but I don't want to sit on a call with somebody and bore them to death with my real estate agent stuff that I have to go through. I want to get them I want as little friction as possible. You know what I mean? So go out there and have the conversations and go screw them up. Not like you're going to misrepresent somebody. Go find out what the dialogue's like, maybe do a little role play and practice it, and then go out and find it out and find your rhythm, find what they want to hear, what they don't want to hear. And educate and inform in the meantime, and then you'll find your rhythm, 30 days in, while everybody else is still wondering which form they got to sign.
Exactly. You want to be ahead of the curve because, like you said, the changes are coming one way or another.
They're here.
And like I said, right now we're just role playing it, practicing it, so you get comfortable. I heard a good line. You're not good at something right now because you haven't been bad at it long enough, right? So get in that daily practice and just like this week we implemented daily role play. Each week we're going to handle a new objection, right? And the talk track with the team is, do you think that after 4 or 5 weeks and you overcome the same rejection or hear that every single time, that you're going to be better or less on the phone? Probably better, right? So let's get comfortable being uncomfortable with each other. So then when we do have these conversations with clients or prospects or whatever you want to call them, that it's a little bit more natural, right?
Exactly. That's exactly it. It's role play I used to hate, but one of the things is I've seen it's really good. It's a really good thing to do, but you can't, like, if you're gonna role play, keep it short, but it is good to do so you practice in a practice setting and not, like me fumbling through it on a Facebook Live on social media.
Well, like I said, there's a reason pro athletes practice every freaking day, and then game day is Sunday, right? You'd rather screw up the play in practice than screw up the play during the game, right? Practice is when me and you are practicing one-on-one. The game's when you're talking to a potential like client, like in real time, right? That's the game. So, practice makes perfect. There's a reason they say that. So it's just about getting after it and being a master of your craft.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So, yeah, I mean, it's something we're gonna have to navigate. If you're listening to us here, know that we're figuring it out just like you. If you're a new agent, you have all the advantage in the world because not advantage, but you have a great scenario out in front of you because you're on the same level playing field as everybody else with this scenario.
It's
And a
their
lot of
new
people that have
normal. Yeah, it's their normal.
and
There is no
bad
change. The
habits.
way things are, no bad habits. If I was a new agent right now, I'd be so freaking pumped about getting
Hmm.
after it. Because like I said, it's all the people that don't want to change and are going to be resistant. Whatever. If you have that mindset where you're going to get after it right from the get go, you're going to have such a leg up on everybody else that's still resisting.
The biggest thing is don't and maybe that role play wasn't, and it definitely wasn't perfect. So that's good. So you can see that there's edges that need to be ironed out, but you know, don't over insert your agenda. Maybe one thing you can take away from that role play is that I spent a lot of time in discovering the scenario there, for the person. Um, Stay solving the problem for the person on the other side. Don't insert your agenda. I mean, you do what you have to do. You have to sign the contract before, not the contract, but the form before you show the property, right? 100%. But stay in solving the problem. Don't, hello, this is Chad. Oh, I want to see 123 Main Street. Okay, we got to sign some shit first. Like,
I'm glad I put your foot to the flames as the agent, and this was totally off cuff, and you handled it like a champ.
that's one of the things about role playing lately is I forgot I do have the gift of gab sometimes, but not perfect. But no one is. So
No.
cool. Well, thanks. I think this is good. I did have.
Oh yeah, if anybody wants that form, hit us up. Common objection handlers that you could role play on your own and work on. If you want to be invited to our monthly mastermind, hit us up. We could definitely send you the link for that in the chat at the website, or we're doing the rowing thing. I'm missing something here down there.
No, I'm pointing down. Shark is scrolling across the bottom. SharkNation Live.
I'm a Neanderthal. I'm paying attention to you, Chad. I have all these shiny objects going across the screen. It's like watching CNN. I'm like, was it breaking news or something? What the hell we got going on?
Oh shoot. No, it's good. It's good. We're having fun here. That's the key. As long as we're all having fun, take the emotions out of it, guys. Just stay in just one step at a time. That's how you solve anything, and aside from real estate, I think we're all a little bit like bamboozled with everything going on, whether it's politics or the stock market or just inflation. Everything's crazy. Like just one foot in front of the other,
Yeah.
we'll get through whatever's in
Control
front
what
of
you can
us.
control, which is your daily actions and your mindset. You can't control the stock market. You can't control the political environment. You can't control whatever, but you can control you, and you can control what you're going to do next. So freaking choose wisely, man. Make some good decisions on, I would, like I said, the 17th is coming up. Don't wait till the 17th to try to figure it out. You got 12 days or whatever the heck it is if I did quick math, but 2 weeks. Let's go. Get your shit together.
And the only way you can you the only way you can fail is if you come to your leader on August 18th and you go, I don't know what to do, and they say, well, where the hell you been in all the trainings we've had for the last 30 days?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you've got time. You've got another 9 days, or no, not 9, whatever. I can't do math.
Yeah.
Get in, plug in, learn what you need to learn, practice it, go out there and implement. And
Yeah, that's going to be the fun team leader conversation when you have agents that haven't been engaged for all the different meetings throughout this whole time, and then it happens, and they're going to be like, "Oh, well, what's this form or what's that form?" It's like you've been under a rock, man. You should have been in the weeds with us.
that's it. All right, I'm out. I got a jet. So we will see you all next Monday. And hope everybody has a wonderful week. We're through the hurricane down here in Florida, so it wasn't too much down here. I know we didn't talk about that, but that's past. So I'm streaming from Little Debbie. We're streaming because we just dealt with that. So, but to anybody that is watching in Florida, I hope everything is hope all is well. Hope everybody stayed safe, and we'll talk to y'all next week.